दो कि अल्पेश ठाकोरे वो है? मानो છો? હું તો સદારામ બાપાનો વારસ બનવા નીકળ્યો છું. મને કોઈ નહીં ખરીદી શકે.
The powerful Thakor leader, Alpesh Thakore.
कि अगर एक पटेल पूरे हिंदुस्तान को एकजुट कर सकता है तो हम तो 50 लाख है, 1 करोड़ 80 लाख है, पूरे हिंदुस्तान में 27 करोड़ है, हम जो चाहे वो कर सकते हैं. क्या गुजरात के अंदर
The disruptor from the Patidar community, Hardik Patel.
गुजरात के हर एक दलित परिवार के लिए 5-5 एकड़ जमीन. क्या चाहिए?
The young leader who mobilized the Dalit community like never before, Jignesh Mewani. The 3 firebrand disruptors who threatened to rock BJP's well-laid electoral plans in their bastion.
I think what you are seeing in Gujarat is an attempt to assert caste identities as represented by Alpesh Thakore, Hardik Patel and Jignesh Mewani versus the more omnibus, universal, inclusive identity of Hindutva as represented by the BJP.
Ahead of the crucial polls in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's home turf, Gujarat, emerged this powerful troika who stood up against the 2-decade-long rule of the BJP in the state. The Youth Brigade represents 3 ends of the Gujarat caste spectrum. 24-year-old Patidar leader Hardik Patel, 34-year-old Dalit leader Jignesh Mewani, and 40-year-old OBC leader Alpesh Thakore are the face of resistance inside Gujarat and are now trying to form a common anti-BJP front.
Hardik Patel and Jignesh Mewani, they are creations of circumstances. If you look at the way they have come up in a very short span, you know. Hardik took up the fight for reservation, you know, when his sister apparently did not get justice, you know. She was seeking admission somewhere and she could not get, you know. And thereafter, he was helped by circumstances, if you look at things, you know. The August 25, 2015 pro-Patel reservation rally in Ahmedabad was a turning point for Hardik's career. He delivered a very fiery speech there. For the government, till that point, the public rally ended very well. Lakhs of Patels had gathered, you know. But in the end, something happened and police started thrashing the activists, you know. He tried to retaliate and there was a clash between police and the Patels. About 10 Patels died during the agitation. And then he was put behind bars by the state government. He remained in jail for 8 months. So that gave him a halo of a martyr, you know. And that's how he became a leader. And to his credit, he knows how to tackle the media. He speaks very intelligently. So he had leadership qualities. But then he owes his rise to circumstances. In the case of Jignesh, again, the unfortunate incident in Una, where 5 Dalits who were skinning the dead cows, you know, were thrashed by cow protection activists under the wrong impression that they had killed the cows. When then that footage started circulating, there was a lot of hue and cry. And Mevani was a lawyer based in Ahmedabad. He was already an activist and he took up the cudgels. So he also owes his rise basically to circumstances. In case of Alpesh, I think it is slightly different. Alpesh was already running a campaign to cleanse his community, OBC Thakor community, of addiction to liquor. OBC Thakor Kshatriyas in Gujarat are known for addiction to liquor. And he led a reform movement, and he used to do it very dramatically, you know. He used to attack illicit distilleries with his supporters, you know, inform police. So he already had a standing before that.
The Congress, eyeing the emergence of an anti-BJP front and social fractions firming, attempted to get its caste arithmetic right this time. Rahul Gandhi, the party's de facto head, made the right moves.
इनकी जो जीएसटी है, ये जीएसटी नहीं है, GST, गब्बर सिंह टैक्स, इससे देश को नुकसान हो रहा है।
Rahul and the Congress lost no time in extending an invitation to the three fiery youth icons of Gujarat to fight alongside the party. This despite the fact that Hardik and Alpesh till recently didn't see eye to eye.
They're all both siding. Alpesh has entered Congress and Hardik is talking in pro-Congress voice, correct? But Alpesh also owes his rise to some extent to Hardik's movement, because Alpesh's community and Hardik's Patel community, they are seen as political rivals in the rural Gujarat setup, you know. So Alpesh, though he was well known, he started getting traction only when Hardik came up, you know.
Inspired by Hardik's 2015 mass protests that forced the BJP to sit up and take note of the Patidar community's grievances, Alpesh Thakore surfaced in 2016 with the new Ekta Manch, formed to represent OBCs, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Its declared mission was to prevent outsiders, mainly the higher castes like the Patels or Patidars, from benefiting from affirmative action policies.
I would say the caste is always there. It's not that new that has come. But this time it's more highlighted kind of a thing. Because if you see these things, Patidars almost en bloc, like the Muslims en bloc to Congress and non-BJP. Patidars almost en bloc, about 70% or 72% for BJP. Now this time, again, because the Patidar issue has come, because otherwise, because we people would not say, we work as a caste person, but we would not feel that this is a caste. So that is the kind of a thing. So caste has remained subterranean level all the time, but this time it has come on a surface.
This is really a battle for the spoils of development in Gujarat. This is a state which has industrialized, which has urbanized, and in that process of urbanization and industrialization, a number of communities feel left out, including the Patels, who have been dominant agrarian castes, but suddenly find that in this new economic market economy, they are getting left out, the young are getting unemployed. So Hardik has emerged as the voice of the young Patidar who feels left out of the process of the so-called Gujarat model of development.
Although the young Patidar leader is yet to be of legal age required to fight elections, he has decided to back the Congress. This came after days of holding out and threats of withdrawing support. But at least 6 Patel organizations have come out against Hardik, accusing him of turning their demand for reservation for personal gains. They also insist that Hardik does not enjoy the homogeneous support of his community. It is interesting to note that these organizations came out against Hardik after having reached an understanding with the BJP. But even before that happened, 2 of Hardik Patel's close aides, Varun and Reshma Patel, joined the BJP, labeling their former leader a Congress agent.
कल राष्ट्रीय उपाध्यक्ष डिक्लेयर करे कि वो पाटीदार समाज को ओबीसी में आरक्षण देंगे, हम ये केस निकाल के कांग्रेस का केस पहनने के लिए तैयार है।
हम इसलिए अलग है कि हमारी जो लड़ाई थी वो समाज को न्याय देने के लिए थी, ना कि कांग्रेस को जिताने के लिए। और हार्दिक कब से चालू कर दिया है कि कांग्रेस का हाथा बन के, उसका एजेंट बन के काम कर रहा है। उसने एक बार भी कांग्रेस को नहीं पूछा, उसको लिखित में पूछना चाहिए कि आप ओबीसी आरक्षण दोगे, और दोगे तो कैसे दोगे।
However, a local convener of Hardik Patel's Patidar Anamat Andolan Samiti, Narendra Patel, called a press conference hours after his announcement of joining the BJP, accusing the BJP of having offered him 1 crore rupees to change sides.
ये जो पूरा मामला है वो स्पष्ट हो गया है कि भ्रष्टाचार पार्टी के पास ऐसे पैसे हैं जो लोगों को खरीदी में एक मास्टर प्लान चला रही है, और ये अकेला नहीं, मैं मानता हूँ तो बहुत सारे पैसे इन लोगों ने दिए हैं। कल रेशमा को और वरुण को मेरे ख्याल से 3-3 करोड़ रुपए दिए गए हैं। आज नरेंद्र भाई की 1 करोड़ की बात आई, लेकिन नरेंद्र भाई ने ईमानदारी दिखाई है।
Hardik is seemingly more comfortable with the Congress because though the party has not promised to include Patels in the list of Gujarat's OBCs, it has offered to provide 20% reservation to economically backward Patels through a constitutional amendment if they are voted to power.
My own feeling is that he will split the Patidar vote. Hardik. And mostly because Patidar is like others, are not homogeneous. There are the lower middle caste Patidars also, and young people who are struggling to get employment, not getting good education, that kind of thing. So there would be a trend. And my own feeling is that Patidar will split. So we have to see their economic power, and economic power goes with social power. But at the same time, there is a dissent, and he will get 30 to 35%. That would be divided, and largely in Saurashtra. I am not sure about the central Gujarat. Saurashtra and the North Gujarat, he will really split Patidar.
Dalit leader Jignesh Mewani too has time and again urged his community to defeat the BJP, but has steered clear from committing his support to any political party.
In Gujarat, the Dalits are only 7%. They are not 19-20% as they may be in many North Indian states like Uttar Pradesh. So therefore, their capacity to actually on their own be able to influence the politics of the state is limited. You can't have an equivalent in the true sense of a Bahujan Samaj party in Gujarat. So you have to be issue based. You have to take up specific issues. So for example, when the lynchings happened in Una, you had a Jignesh Mewani mobilizing Dalits on a specific issue. They will have to, though, at election time, latch on to a major political party, most probably in this case the Congress.
Jignesh is always in dilemma, because Jignesh cannot, in any circumstances I know, support BJP. That goes without saying. But he also has many complaints against the Congress, and he is a left to the center person, and nobody can really in Gujarat, there is no party, he has no other way but to support Congress.
On 23rd of October, Alpesh Thakore, the OBC leader and convener of Gujarat Kshatriya Thakor Sena, was heralded into the Congress by party Vice President Rahul Gandhi at a rally in Gandhinagar.
About the Alpesh, though he talks about OBC, and there is a lot of satisfaction among the OBC, because OBC is a very heterogeneous community, which includes artisans also, carpenters and others, coolies, rabbaris and many other things about it. And they are never united, and so far nobody has made an effort to do it. So his appeal is on the Thakors, or at the most largely called Kshatriyas, but not say South Gujarat coolies or North Saurashtra coolies. So I would say that he is strong among the OBC is 30%.
The question is, can Alpesh Thakore emerge as a leader of all the OBCs, or will he be confined to his Thakor Sena? And B, whether an Alpesh Thakore who is insisting that reservations remain for OBCs at 27% be able to coexist with a Hardik Patel who is insisting that the Patels also get a share of the reservation pie. So Alpesh Thakore also has a few dilemmas to wrestle with, and maybe that's why he's decided, at least for now, to latch on to the Congress, because maybe then, much like Madhav Singh Solanki in the 1980s, Alpesh Thakore can also try and emerge as a young, influential leader of the OBC community.
Together, the Troika have influence over about 60% of Gujarat's vote base. So it is but natural that the OBC, the Patels and the Dalit votes are crucial for any party to win these elections.
BJP united these communities by creating others, and others means the Muslims, and this is their agenda. So Dalit also say that Muslims are our enemies, OBCs are there, and obviously Patidars were in forefront about it. But when they come back to themselves, economic contradictions come into it. Because kind of a ground level reality in our villages, OBC and Dalit cannot go together. So they look Dalit with contempt. And this is the central point of our caste system. We want somebody below me and I want to go up. This is a central feature of a caste system.
If, as the BJP has succeeded in doing since 1991, over 25 years now, win the election comprehensively, possibly with a 2/3 majority once again, then all these three leaders will find that their political careers, in a sense, are at the crossroads. Because it suggests that while they may be able to mobilize their support on specific issues, their ability to combat the Hindutva juggernaut is very limited. So this is, in a sense, a real test for these three leaders to translate their caste-based popularity and their caste-based constituencies into actually playing a major role in influencing an election in Gujarat.
Gujarat goes to polls on December 9th and 14th. Narendra Modi has left no stone unturned to ensure that Gujarat remains firmly a BJP bastion. Party chief Amit Shah has set his party a target of winning 150 of the state's 182 assembly seats. The opposition hopes for an anti-incumbency sentiment to help thwart the 22-year-old BJP government.
In 1985, the Congress won 3/4 majority in Gujarat by fashioning what they called the Kham Alliance, which was the Kshatriya OBCs, the Harijans, the Adivasis and the Muslims. And this was demographically a statewide powerful alliance. That was then combated by the politics of Hindutva, where all these communities also began to assert their Hindu identity first, even more than their caste identity. And that's the reason that the BJP has dominated Gujarat politics for years.
I personally think that the tactics which the party used in order to defeat Ahmed Patel in last, I think, August, where even a minister who was, sheltering the BJP Gujarat Congress MLAs in Karnataka, even he was raided by Income Tax Department, I think that was a shift, because an impression went that there was misuse of power by the BJP. One more incident which really helped the Congress. Shankar Singh Waghela was creating a lot of problems. But the impression which I get now is that a source which was constantly troubling the party, not helping it unite, the departure of that source has brought unity in Congress.
Even when Mr. Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat and fighting elections, was always placed and located within a Hindutva worldview. It wasn't as if it was solely development. It was also a clear Hindutva agenda at work. In 2002, after the riots, it was very sharp. In 2007, it was perhaps less overt. And in 2012, it was even less dominant, but it was always there. I mean, for anyone to suggest that Gujarat's politics have been fought on a development plan are missing the wood for the trees. Since 1991, since the Rath Yatra in 1990, stretching to the Gujarat riots of 2002, right up to 2012, the BJP in particular has always used Gujarat as a laboratory for Hindutva. The development agenda that the Prime Minister and earlier in his avatar as Chief Minister speaks of was always a subset of this larger Hindutva agenda. So it was always Hindutva plus development. Hindutva was never divorced from the development agenda of the Prime Minister and indeed the BJP. So for anyone to say that the narrative has always existed in Gujarat of Hindutva, what we are seeing this time is a slow revival of also sharply polarized caste identities. The last time we saw that really was in the mid-1980s.
Meanwhile, to fight anti-incumbency, BJP has doled out several sops for the state, from launching several infrastructure projects in pole-bound Gujarat to announcement of India's first bullet train between Gujarat and Maharashtra. The party also waived off 18% GST on micro-irrigation systems for farmers and declared longer maternity leave for contractual employees and much greater benefits for social health workers. The BJP made full use of the breather when the Election Commission, in a departure from norms, delayed the announcement of the date for Gujarat elections by 13 days after it had announced the date for Himachal Pradesh.
You've got to also appreciate the work which groups like the VHP and the RSS have done in Gujarat over 2 decades. They have almost ensured that their organization is able to overcome any sense of disaffection and disillusionment with specific policies like GST or demonetization. It is that local network that today sustains the BJP, along with, of course, the charisma of Modi. There is no doubt in my mind that if Narendra Modi was not there on the scene, the BJP would be very vulnerable today in Gujarat.
In Gujarat, the BJP is also fighting to woo the 3 communities. The state government recently withdrew as many as 468 cases against Patel community members, cases that had been lodged after their agitation. The Gujarat government also announced an unreserved class welfare commission to study the demand for reservations by various castes.
There has been a sense over the last 2 or 3 decades that the forward castes in Gujarat in particular have been, in a sense, anti-Congress and have felt that the Congress has done injustice to Gujarat. And the BJP has preyed on that sense of grievance among a section of the Gujaratis. Also, this is an extremely urbanized state. This is one of the most urbanized states. This is one of the most religion-dominated states, and this is one of the most industrialized states. All these 3, when they come together, make Gujarat, in a sense, an ideal laboratory for the politics of Hindutva. In the early days, it was open and overt, directed against the Muslim, either at the time of the 1990s Rath Yatra or in 2002 during the riots. Now it's more subliminal, but it is there. When the BJP says Ahmed Mia or targets Ahmed Patel of the Congress, they are playing, in a sense, to that vote bank that they built for themselves. So there is a conscious attempt that they've made to build this Hindutva vote bank. And because the Congress is so weak and compromised, it has become easier for the BJP to pigeonhole the Congress as anti-Gujarat and anti-Hindu.
इस मंच पर से मैं कहूंगा कि नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी के एक्सिस्टेंस के एवरी पार्टिकल और एटम से हम वाकिफ है, क्योंकि मैं गुजरात से आता हूं।
भारत देश आजाद क्यों 70 वर्ष થઈ ગયા? આ 70 વર્ષની અંદર
मानो છો કે अल्पेश ठाकोर એવો હોય?
This is probably the first time in the history of Gujarat that 3 young leaders with very little political experience and without owing allegiance to any established political system has challenged the might of someone like Narendra Modi on his home turf. If the Troika win, they would prove that Modi is fallible. And if they miss, they are young enough to fight another day.
The BJP suffers from the hubris of 25 years in power. The Congress suffers from the fact that it has allowed itself to get so badly divided and splintered and compromised over a similar period of time. My sense is in Gujarat, there is at least vocally a section of the community which is disaffected, which feels that they have been the victims in a way of GST, of demonetization. This is a business-driven class, particularly in urban Gujarat. It's very vocal. However, historically one has seen in the last 2 decades that even if there is disaffection, even if there is some element of anger, when the Gujarati voter goes to the polling booth, he tends to assert his Hinduness. So I am not sure whether that has changed overnight. To defeat the BJP in Gujarat, you will need anger to the scale where the voter says anyone but BJP, anyone but Modi. I'm not sure it's reached that stage. The other way to defeat the BJP in Gujarat would be to have such a charismatic leader who's pan-Gujarat. Hardik Patel is attracting crowds. Alpesh Thakore has his caste base. Jignesh Mewani is able to take up issues. But are any of these three leaders the kind who can have a pan-Gujarat appeal? Can they actually convert the kind of support they get in crowds into votes? Big question mark.